Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Omaya, and I work with Peace in Uganda as the head of school network here. My role involves accountability for ensuring children are safe across a network of 30 secondary schools in Uganda and looking at 16,000 students in the network, with 52% being girls. I also provide accountability for leadership in our schools and ensuring that each school head is fully equipped with understanding as a focal person for child safety and child protection as they lead the schools and the students within there. I'm happy that today I'll be talking about keeping children safe and what we have done across our network to ensure that children enroll in our schools, stay in our schools, and complete from our schools while developing stronger feelings of being safe. So thank you very much, and we'll dive straight into the presentation. All right, so I'm going to talk briefly about our Peace Child Protection approach, which will give us deeper insight into what we do across our network. The discussion will focus on getting to know Peace a bit more, how our approach to safeguarding has evolved over time. We'll also talk briefly about our safeguarding framework, the monitoring tool, and the evidence on ground supporting our approach, and then how we're strengthening safeguarding in government schools, having tested it from our schools. So briefly, we deliver a direct education through our networks, and we've had over 15 years of experience in delivering quality secondary education across the sub-Saharan Africa, currently operating both in Uganda and in Zambia. This network has grown to a total of 36 schools across the two countries, with a huge number of 30 of them belonging to Peace Uganda and operating in over 23 districts across the country, as you can see from the map. Once we have successfully implemented our interventions and picked out from our learnings and improved from our reflections, we are able to take what has worked and continues to work in our schools to share them with government schools and other partners. That initiative is linked to our approach, which looks at Peace as an exemplar school network and aiming to ensure all our schools and each of our schools is exemplar in delivering quality and affordable secondary education that can be sustained, secured and sustained in the long run. And so we then proceed to work very closely with partner schools across the country. These partner schools are a combination of both government and non-state operated schools. Our school network are perceived as exemplars from which interventions are transferred to partner schools. We're exemplar to inspire, demonstrate best practice, and support government and state partners to expand equitable access to quality secondary school. And we do this by sharing our tools, by having our school leaders collaborate with the school leaders in both state and non-state education operators. And we've seen particularly safeguarding improving, safeguarding practices improving in these secondary schools. And our ambition is that Once we are able to test out and show what has worked well in our schools and replicated it in partner schools, we'll be able to work very closely with government, especially Ministry of Education, to spread out across all schools and benefit all students. And above all, once we achieve that at national level, we'll continue to deliver global level advocacy through influencing the wider international education ecosystem. As an organization, the evolution of our approach to safeguarding and child protection has been embedded in our foundational philosophy that each child matters and that we want to provide an education that helps children lead fulfilling and socially responsible lives. It's also rooted in our mission that we want to expand access to sustainably delivered quality secondary school. And as we do that, we want to provide an education that unlocks a child's full potential. And for us to do this, a child's full potential can best be unlocked if the learning environment is conducive enough and welcoming and receptive to the children and very child friendly and child safe. And so we have fundamentally taken it that it's very core to ensure that children are safe in our schools. We've done this through establishing our code of conduct on how staff in the school should behave, how partners should behave when they get into our schools. We've developed a child protection policy and adult safeguarding policy to ensure that both children and adults at risks are safeguarded against harm and practices that could otherwise affect their retention and effective stay in school. Even when we designed established these policies, the child protection and child protection policies, we've gone further to put in place structures that ensure there's awareness of these policies and there's a common ground of follow-up in case of breach of policy. And within our schools, we've already established structures that are focal points and committees for child safety. And so our safeguarding procedures are embedded in what we call the child protection and implementation guidelines and our reporting framework, which provide a clear detail on how we should implement this policy. What does it mean to create awareness? What does it mean to respond to a case? What does it mean to prevent occurrence? So, and how should these cases be reported, as my colleague will be talking about it later on the other slides. So our global safeguarding standards clearly outline expectations for school leaders and help us drive compliance across our network. And this has helped build a brand in communities where we work as hubs for safety, especially for girls. And this explains why, as a network of 16,000 students, we have 52% of these as girls, compared to national figure of 47% girls being enrolled across the country. So we're always looking forward to strengthen our approach and regularly invest in high quality training to help our staff become more effective in their roles. We've integrated like gender responsive teaching. We've ensured that there's a child safe environment. And just insert there on this particular slide, you'll see that even the communications in the talking compound indicate that we are a child safe school. So thank you very much, and we'll listen in from my other colleague as well. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Maureen Kizito. I am a curriculum and safeguarding specialist working with Peace Uganda for the last 4 years. My job is to ensure that the young people in our schools in Uganda are safe from abuse, that they are empowered and encouraged to achieve their dreams and be able to study well and impact their communities after school. The key principles underpinning our approach to education and safeguarding are that our approach is child-centered. Everything we do is about the children and should be about the welfare of the children. We build an expert staff across the organization, ensuring that the capacity building activities equip teachers and staff with the right skills to be able to safeguard the young people, but also guide them educationally to what they come to school to get. We pride on ongoing evidence-based progress. So everything we do must be backed up by evidence from the schools and the progress of the children. We also have a zero tolerance approach to abuse, and we ensure that everybody within the school and also in the community know that peace does not tolerate any form of abuse towards young people, towards the children, and towards the staff as well and adults that work with us. The Peace Safeguarding Framework follows 4 key principles: awareness, prevention, reporting, and responding. In awareness, we make sure that our teachers are trained on child safeguarding at induction and in our CPDs. We also train our children in ways they can be able to stay safe. We empower them with skills to stay safe and also to be able to reach out to other children who do not come to our schools and are in the community to support them. We engage our parents at annual general meetings and in one-on-one meetings. We engage them and also train them on different ways of taking care of their teenage children and also being able to meet their needs, amongst them special needs as well. We also have prevention, and in Peace we are very proud of the way we manage prevention. We safeguard our children by ensuring that all staff that come to our schools are thorough. We have a strong background check for every staff member to ensure that we do not bring in people that are not safe for the children. We also build structures on zero tolerance approach. We have a peace incident reporting framework, so we encourage our children to report, not only to report what happens at school, but also what happens in the community. They can report to our safeguarding key people at school and also at the country office, but they can also report anonymously on a phone that is provided, a phone number that's provided. They can report using email, but they can also report within the school using the suggestion boxes. So we have a very strong incident reporting framework. We respond and teach our staff members and student leaders to respond promptly and effectively to all safeguarding concerns that arise, and we assign case managers to every case that happens within our different schools, the 30 schools across the country, and we equip each of the case managers with skills through our case management investigatory procedure. According to our child protection documentation, we have a policy that guides child protection, and this policy is reviewed every 2 years. We have standards that are shared with the school, and then we have implementation guidelines as well to ensure that everyone in the schools, all the safeguarding focal people, are following the right procedures. We have structures right from the country office, and the roles of each and every focal person are very clear. Their responsibilities are clear, and then they also know the reporting systems at all levels of our organization. So we have structures that cover from the grassroots, which is at the school level, to the country office, and then to the global office as well. We offer training and support regularly, and the training is high quality training for staff members, both the focal people and the staff members, the teachers. We give additional support to those who lead at the school level, the student leaders, the senior women, and senior men as well. We have data and measurement, where we collect regular reviews on indicators based on clear standards to monitor and support. So the focal people at the school level report regularly to ensure that we keep tabs on what's happening at the school level to do with child protection, and to ensure that there's clarity as well as transparency in all our activities supporting child protection. We share tools across the network. We have a safeguarding monitoring tool. This tool supports school leaders and school focal people to ensure that they report on clear standards as they are stipulated in our standards every term. So every term, the school leaders ensure that they are giving awareness to teachers to ensure that the teachers know what is expected of them in particular circumstances, but also as regular procedure. This tool has self-assessment as one of the foundations. So the schools assess themselves to see how they are doing with child protection, but then they're also assessed by the area SSO, the school support officer, also assesses them before the tool is submitted to the country level. At the country level, all data is collected and then it is shared on a dashboard. So all schools are able to see how they are faring and how they're improving on their safeguarding protocols and how they're faring on the standards comparatively. We have strong external and internal evidence highlighting the impact of our robust approach to safeguarding and child protection. Evidence shows that our child protection policies and training are stronger than non-peer schools. And due to our gender-responsive pedagogy and safeguarding, girls at our schools are safer and they learn faster than their peers in other schools. We are proud that our global child protection systems have been accredited by Keeping Children Safe. It's an honor for us to know that our work is recognized globally. Evidence shows that we know what works, and we are now using the tools, team, and expertise we built up after 15 years to strengthen safeguarding systems in government schools in Uganda, Zambia, and Ghana. In Uganda, we work with 215 secondary schools, reaching more than 120,000 students through our Inspect and Improve program, I&I. I&I brings together the government's reformed inspection framework and PEA's approach to follow-up, support, to drive improvements in government schools. PEA's is also working with the gender unit at the Ministry of Education to embed key components of our safeguarding approach in government schools and scale across the system, including schools to establish senior women and senior men, and supporting the effective implementation of Ministry of Education re-entry policy. We've taken learnings from our Inspect and Improve program in Uganda and shared these with our teams in Zambia in 45 government secondary schools with the Ministry of Education. In Ghana, we are working with Savannah Education Trust and local Ghana Education Service to design and deliver sustainable school improvement programs in 14 basic government schools. We're also supporting school leaders to drive improvement in teaching practices and robust safeguarding systems. Even as we wait for evidence from Ghana and Zambia, we are happy to report that based on emerging testimonies and evidence from our Inspect and Improve project in Uganda, head teachers have reported that there's great improvement in the schools where PEACE has shared our safeguarding principles and our work. Head teachers have reported that there's an improvement in student safety because the children are aware of what they need to do to keep themselves safe. There's improvement in their safety because the head teachers are cautious about the kind of people that are working within the schools and they're holding them accountable. There's evidence in improvement of the children's safety because now the teachers attend to their duties with commitment, having learned from PEACE the reasons as to why it's important to keep children safe. There's also reports from the government schools that there's a significant reduction in corporal punishment and the use of violence to bring discipline, which was a common vice in Ugandan schools. So with this evidence, we feel excited to continue our work with safeguarding in all schools entrusted to us by the government and also in our 30 schools. There's also reports that there's gender-sensitive pedagogy and teaching practices within our schools. So the girls feel safer to learn at school. The teachers are using methods that not only benefit boys to learn, especially STEM subjects, but they are also helping the girls to achieve great milestones academically. And with this, I'd like to invite you to see for yourselves the great work that is happening within PEACE schools as you watch the children and the teachers in our schools testify about the great things that they've been able to achieve because of our safeguarding awareness, our safeguarding principles that have made work easier for the staff members, but also education and learning more exciting for the children.
The PEACE school is different from other schools in that they prioritize the child's welfare, the child's right.
What's most prevalent in our society is teenage pregnancies, usually teenage marriages as well, child marriages. Those are the issues that we're usually facing on a day-to-day basis. So usually we have to intervene by bringing in law enforcement and making sure that we as PEACE as well stand up for the child, and bringing in also key community leaders to speak up for the child and ensuring that she can still go ahead with achieving her education.
When we started in 2019, it was very difficult actually. The community, the knowledge that they have about child protection. For them, there are certain issues where they feel at the school what we are doing is not right. But we have seen the change in them in terms of the attitude to child protection.
A child should be safe in our environment. They need to participate fully by not being victimized or as in being trampled upon.
This school is very safe. It's a safe environment for them.
One of the strategies they use is child protection policy.
We have a suggestion box where children drop their concerns. We have committees. We have also in assemblies where we interact with them and they are open in sharing. So when they raise their concerns, we immediately respond.
With this community, we endeavored to have a community member being part of our committee of the school. You make them aware of what goes on, and if there is any scenario outside, they give us a call.
We have got the Child Protection Committee, and in the committee there are students representatives. We gather all the challenges which the students, a particular student could be facing, and then unveils the challenges to the administration or to the responsible personnel in the school. I, as a student, support my fellow students by maybe identifying they're not okay, I approach them and try asking what could be the challenge. Then I give that person direction to take.
I just talk to them. I ask them that what could be the problem, what could be the issue. Like most of them are open to tell you, but most of them are not. But if any of them tells me what their problem is, what I do, I just encourage them, advise them, and give them the right direction. If it is beyond my thinking capacity, I just refer them to the senior woman teacher or the senior man teacher. The senior woman teacher makes us feel safe, like she comes and talks to us, gives us guidance and counseling.
Child protection focal point person is based in the school, and they are the immediate contact should any safeguarding issues come up.
My role as a senior woman is to guide these learners to be good role models, guide them through all those levels of life that they can be seen as valuable people in the future, wherever they go. We have those sessions, counseling sessions, where sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes we have as a team of ladies and listen to their areas of concern, then help them out.
We have to make sure that children are protected physically, emotionally, mentally, and psychologically.
Always when you have a safe learning environment, it improves on performance.
We prioritize these students' safety. Each teacher here has been clustered a specific number of learners, and in the mentorship, academically, socially, 10 students on a specific teacher.
It boosts their confidence to be in school, to say our teachers are there for us, they support us, we are there to give them guidance.